Alright, guys, thank you so much. Alright, so I given some time since yesterday on my video, and I think at the time I was a little fired up and I kind of wasn't thinking straight. I was just kind of saying what the fuck I wanted, which I always do. So, given some thought, actually, surprisingly enough, I had a debate with my friend last night too, and surprisingly enough, it went very well. We walked away with smiles on our faces, and yeah, it was pretty good, surprisingly enough. So I guess, debating kind of gets the stuff out of your system too. So obviously in the beginning it was a little rough. We didn't really know how to deal with it because I think a lot of us, to be honest, with debates or any kind of political stuff, it does get kind of like it could get messy if you're not careful. So I admit that much that, like, you know what, in the beginning I was a little immature in how I handled it, but in the end we made up, we talked about it, said, hey, we apologize. Both of us both made mistakes, which is totally cool, which I love, which basically kind of, which is the idea of debating, right? So I've given some thought, and well, how do I explain this? So overall, I think it's a two-sided thing. I think at the end of the day, it's what you believe in and what you think is right. But on this case, I think what I come to the conclusion is that, well, I'm kind of siding on Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled on this. I think this was definitely the right move, but again, we're going to watch this video and we're going to get a little more information about death. So let's watch that. This is from Decoy Voice. Guys, I'm going to put his video below as well, but let's watch this video.
Funniest thing Jimmy Kimmel ever did was get fired for being unfunny. But somehow, the left is more panicked about free speech costing a guy his TV show than
Jimmy Kimmel is, he's not funny. I actually never really thought he was funny. I actually really don't like the guy either, so it's kind of a plus for me.
Free speech costing a guy his life, as this is Kimmel's controversial segment in question.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Where the next day his show's doors were closed as they sent away him and his team. As Nextdoor quickly announced, they object to Jimmy's offensive comments and will no longer air his show for the foreseeable future, which prompted Sinclair to do the same on their ABC stations, making a statement that on Friday, they will air a special remembrance of Charlie Kirk instead, calling upon Kimmel to issue a public apology.
That's crazy. Now, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel's technically not canceled. He's just suspended. He could easily come back if he wants to. And besides, he's rich as shit, so like he really doesn't even need this job anyways.
And a personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. But judging by the Hollywood Reporter, Jimmy wasn't going to apologize. He was just going to double down.
Jimmy Kimmel was like he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
And Trump was right. Jimmy Kimmel, alongside all the
Oh yeah, so you see the ratings, it's like really, really low. So obviously you can tell. Now, I'll say this though, for the most part, I mentioned this before with Jimmy's comments. I think the timing was just bad, right? And now I'll explain this as well, is with the so I've given some thought. I know some of you guys are saying, like, free speech, is taken away. But at the end of the day, it's like this. If your FCC watches everything, right? And I think every 4 years, there's a different president. The FCC changes and censors, right? Now, you can see it from two ways. You can see it as a way it just happens. Or you can see it as a way, well, maybe a victory, depending on which side you're on. In terms of party, right? I think overall it just depends what side you're on. Because 4 years ago, a lot of us got censored, and no one complained about that. I mean, obviously we did, but left didn't complain about that. They were happy. So I really think this might be also a revenge move as well, or they're just kind of sick and tired of this stupid narrative what the left people have been posting, and it hasn't been working, as you can see from the ratings. And at the end of the day, if you're licensed with the FCC, with the government, which technically a lot of these broadcasts, it has to be approved. Like, even Dr. Phil says the same thing. It's like, hey, I can't say certain things because I'm contracted through the FCC. So, like, I mean, I could be butchering in the way I'm saying it, but at the end of the day, if you're licensed with them, well, you better follow the rules. Sorry, that's all I have to say. And rules change every time, or whatever, depending who the boss is, right? Because I think that's just how it is in the workplace. In the workplace, too, like, depending who your boss is, It's just how it is.
Left-wing late-night hosts have been completely slipping out of relevance. And just like any workplace that has an employee that's slowly declined over time, it's hard to terminate their contract over mediocrity.
Is it $1 million?
But given the opportunity, like public backlash over brazenly false information regarding a national tragedy, the bosses will jump on firing you while they can still pass off the blame on everybody else.
Yep.
But leave it to the corporate media to make this business decision about their Trump derangement syndrome. With MSNBC coming out in
So you have to understand too, like, this is kind of why we don't believe the mainstream media.
full force.
Donald Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless.
We are quickly becoming a censorship state.
There will be a kind of deployment of law enforcement, of the state apparatus.
Congressmen on CNN echoing the same nonsense.
Jimmy Kimmel is a late-night host. He's a comedian. We have the First Amendment in this country, and it's pretty clear that this is a direct attack on free speech. And
America is a less free place if late-night comedians cannot do and say what they want.
They're literally trying to say we're less free if private companies aren't forced to promote their propaganda at a financial loss. As let's be clear, Kimmel's recent comments are mild compared to the deranged things he said before.
Oh,
The
yeah,
corporation
he said some crazy stuff. And like you said, it's funny how the left are now talking about free speech, where during the whole election, they were focusing on censoring and saying you can't say certain things.
didn't suddenly grow a spine, it's just that Kimmel isn't entertaining anymore. As I guarantee, if he was putting out Gutfeld numbers, they'd let him get away with anything because nobody fires an earner. And all these media tears just remind us how they simply have zero actual virtues. Where Western Lensman found the perfect example on MSDNC.
And this is just the latest chapter in Donald Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless. Tucker Carlson, just fired from his third network, he believed he could say anything, no matter how vile, no matter how disgusting, no matter how offensive, no matter how dehumanizing or belittling. And if you act like a sociopath over and over and over and over, you will become unpopular on the national stage.
See? This is what I mean about the mainstream media. Like, these puppets are just basically just following whatever their narrative is, and see the difference between on what they say things. Now, you're probably going to say, hey, Wings, but by the way, like, you know, you can change your mind. Yeah, but this is not just change your mind. This is like 180 turn and totally going against the way you said before.
It's just like a basic principle. Over time, probably not going to work out well for you in the long
And now
run.
they're happy that Tucker Carlson's fired, you know. But, you know, when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel's not, like I said, Jimmy Kimmel's not even that funny. Like, why do people care so much about this guy?
It's almost like you could cut the Chiron and stock images off the clips, swap the audios, and he easily could be talking about Kimmel, where these left-wing news personalities have become the equivalency of ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. As he's not paid to be objective about sports reporting, he's paid because if you told him to fill 20 minutes of TV time about why Tom Brady is overrated, he could easily follow it up with 20 minutes of TV time of why Tom Brady is the greatest. That's fine with sports gossip, but just proves that left-leaning media doesn't care about the truth or values, just whatever narrative they're currently force-feeding their audience. So of course CNN goes back to fear-mongering.
It is outrageous. It's a page right out of Xi's playbook. It doesn't matter whether you agree with Kimmel or not. He has the right to free speech.
Have you noticed that on CNN, it's like literally always the left people who are on the show?
And so it is just outrageous. It is indicative of autocracy, and I am just outraged by it. Again, this is what dictators do. Isn't
this the guy who put the cheese on a raw hamburger meat?
This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do.
As MSNBC
Okay, I don't think even Putin would go that far. I'm just being honest.
is even worse.
I built a Holocaust museum with survivors. I've also read a whole lot about authoritarian regimes. This is the playbook, folks.
The Democrat governor...
By the way, that guy right there is literally the same guy who said crime is fine. There's low crime in Chicago, but literally there were like 54 people that died that same day when he said that.
authoritarian regimes. This is the playbook, folks.
The Democrat governor from Illinois actually just tried to compare the Holocaust to an unfunny comedian getting his show canceled.
That's wild.
Not only is this incredibly disrespectful, but just reveals how desperate the Democrats have become, as Jimmy Kimmel is just another one of their guys added to a long list of idiots that lost their left-wing platform, as that last one has been freaking out over this online.
Jimmy Kimmel, they're trying to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. I'm sure you've heard the news by now. The folks who are complaining about killing comedy are killing comedy. The folks who are complaining about canceling people are canceling people.
Which is funny because on an Instagram account with 1.6 million...
So I think with the cancellation thing is that, like, yeah, they did say that, but I think overall, I think it's definitely a revenge thing for sure. Like, where it's like, okay, well, now we can do it to you kind of thing. 100%, it's definitely like a revenge thing for sure. I don't doubt that they said that, oh, they didn't like the cancel culture, but now they're just basically having their own taste of their own medicine.
Followers, he was just going live to a total of 600 people.
That's it?
This
Wow.
guy used to have his own show on primetime cable, and now he's out there making TikToks nobody cares about.
Wow.
So it kind of makes sense that all these mainstream media personalities are panicking over Jimmy's cancellation because it's just a sign that they might be the next Don Lemon. But nobody should feel bad for Jimmy losing his livelihood, or anybody
No,
on
he's
his staff
suspended.
for that
He's not
matter,
even canceled.
as his show previously celebrated Tucker Carlson's cancellation.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which
wonder
means
if
he was
Tucker
fired. I
Carlson
mean, that's really what
responded to
parting
this.
ways
I have
means.
to look it
What a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is.
Laughed about Roseanne's cancellation.
And the biggest story of the day today was Roseanne. Roseanne, you're not going to believe this, but she tweeted something outrageous. I know, yeah, right. The president did it too. It's crazy. Anyway, ABC decided to cancel.
As he even made memes about Trump losing his ability to speak freely. But
Oh yeah, so during that time, they even banned Trump off Twitter. They banned him off Twitch. And a lot of, like, even Charlie Kirk, I think he was banned off Twitter as well. So, censorship it's nothing new, guys. It's going on for, like all the time. So, that's what I come to the conclusion at the end of the day is that, like, it's gonna happen, you know? And, yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
most importantly, advocated for the cancellation of you.
Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Wow. Propaganda.
Laughing at
or what?
hospitals denying care to anybody that didn't listen to his propaganda is probably why people stopped listening to him. The funny part is, if the network didn't cancel his show, the left likely would have, eventually, as South Park had to cancel their upcoming episode for reasons.
Oh, wow.
And now leftists online are calling to cancel anything.
Wait, let's read that real quickly. So I actually heard the Turning Point, the one I guess who is the top of the Turning Point, actually told they didn't tell South Park, but they said that South Park can reopen that Charlie Kirk episode because Charlie Kirk really liked that episode and he was laughing about it. So I think they even said, dude, you can put this show back on that episode. It doesn't really matter. And I think so too. Like, I think at the end of the day, it was funny. Like, I think it was funny to make fun of Charlie Kirk. And again, Charlie Kirk took it, he took it as a grain of salt and laughed about it.
For reasons. And now leftists online are calling to
So Disney, okay, so they're getting boycotted.
cancel anything
That's
Disney related, which is
Imagine that.
hilarious as they always eventually turn on each other.
I know,
Again,
right?
proving
How
no
funny is
matter
that?
how many years of representation, inclusion, and progressive intent, they're always one step away from failing the left's ever-changing purity test. As once you bend the knee to the woke mob, you'll eventually be on. So if you appreciate my
What was that?
and progressive intent, they're always one step away from failing the left's ever-changing purity test. As once you bend the knee to the woke mob, you'll eventually be on.
Oh, guess we can't say that joke here, but you won't hear me crying about it. Ha! That's funny.
So if you
I was like,
appreciate
is that-
my concise, light-order commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, join the 1 million other duckers that have
Wow,
subscribed to
congrats
Decoy
to that.
Voice. And we will do a short celebration video over this milestone soon.
That's
Probably
awesome.
with a quick Q&A. So if you have a particular burning question, add me over on Instagram too. It's @DecoyBTS.
Oh, here's-
Then
that's
submit
cute.
your
I like
question
it.
on that last post.
I like that. That's great. I mean, I think the end of it, right, is that like I think there's just two sides of seeing it. Now, it depends what side you're seeing it from, right? So I'll explain this basically. If you're more on the kind of right side, of course you're going to be happy about this. No one likes Jimmy Kimmel. And plus, you got to remember, Jimmy Kimmel's been a lot, it was a straight up lie, basically. Like, he lied about all the information. He's saying that the shooter was a Trump supporter, and the evidence was there, clearly. Like, now again, I'm not saying that trans people are crazy, because there's a lot of nice trans people. I think it just happened to be a trans person who's crazy. That's it. I'll say that. And this person even put evidence saying that, oh, hey, I'm going to shoot Charlie because he's a fascist. You know, like, there was evidence on that. Now, again, like I said, I support the LGB. I support LGBTQ and lefties. I want them to have their rights. Like, I don't, you know, I'm not like, I don't hate them, you know. So, anyways, the point is that they were just trying to make this rhetoric of like, oh yeah, well, it was a Trump supporter and stuff like that. And again, Kimmel was just sending out misinformation. Now, of course, if you're the FCC or any kind of type of government, yeah, you don't want them spreading information from like everyone, like misinformation. It doesn't really make sense. Now, I see it from that point of view. Now, if you're coming from the left point of view, yeah, it does look like it's it's free speech, it's gone, stuff like that, like you've been taken away. I see that too. Like, I see at first I didn't like the idea of the government getting involved, and they didn't really do much. They just said, oh yeah, they should fire him. That's all he said, really, from the video I watched. So in that sense, yeah, I totally get it. That's totally not okay too. So again, it just depends how you see it, as whether you are on the left side or the right side, or you're in the middle left or middle right. I would say, again, I'm more towards the right side of things. I think I totally agree with this. I think I think it was gonna eventually happen. And again, I'm all about the truth, and again, like, the misinformation that's been sending out, it's just not there. Like, I think overall, like, the evidence is there. So yeah. Anyways, so that's just my personal opinion about it. I mean, again, you can disagree with me. It doesn't really matter. But that's just my take on it. So anyways, yeah, make sure to check out this video, guys. He has really good content. I'll put his link below.